Good morning, good people of the planet Earth. Good morning. So this is Wednesday, August 7th, 2024. It's about a few minutes before 6 in the morning here in southwestern Nevada, not far from the California border. George Norrie, Art Bell country, etc. You know the thing. So my name is Edward Bevilacqua, and here today we are to talk about the secret of success. The secret of success. But before we do that, slight little intro to this for our new people, and as a reminder and as an introduction to new people. Reminder to our current students, intro to new students. So this daily podcast, is not designed for people who are successful and or saved. Good morning. What? Not a bevy. I am on the bus in Jacksonville. Okay. So this podcast is not for people who are successful or who are who are saved, who believe they are saved. This is not for you, but you're welcome to be here. And if you're here, I would suggest watching it from a context of, so that's how other people think, or I think a little bit differently, but not in a judgmental frame of mind, because it's just going to waste your time. As a student, yes. As somebody who's observing, like if you're an alien, why is curious little earthlings type of thing would be okay. But it's not designed for you. This is designed for people who are not successful and who are not saved. Aha, good morning, Dwayne. How are things in Oakland? How are things in Acropania? Good morning, good to see you here. So, Dwayne, one of our students from a long time ago, very colorful, added a lot to the learning experience for people. Okay, that's it, just okay, good. Well, I see you on Facebook sometimes in your flashy clothes. Alrighty, so that's our introduction. This is not for people who are successful and saved, unless you want to watch it for entertainment. However, today we're going to talk about the actual secret of success from a highly esteemed neuroscientist at Stanford. So this isn't from Rocco's School of Typewriter Repair. This is from people who are actually doing it from a neuroscience perspective, what our program is based on. Neuroscience perspective, what's actually happening in your brain on a cellular and chemical level. For the rest of us, and for Dwayne, this is week 4 in our 4-week program. Leadership. This is day 3. Ignatius of Loyola. And we're watching the olive, the little animation. The life of Ignatius of Loyola. And our message, our takeaway from that, you might remember, and this is all in a link down below in the worksheet. It's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on our website. Everything's down below. How to get there. What we learned from Ignatius of Loyola is if he could do what he did, each of us can do something. Each of us can do something. And he also applied the secret of success, which we are going to learn about. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's see. Our advice from an 8-year-old. Never give up on anybody. Miracles happen every day. Never give up on anybody. I say, I don't believe in people off. Can I? Yes, I. Absolutely. But I don't believe in it. Sometimes, though, it's necessary. So, yeah. let's go back here. Well, Dwayne, if you want to know, my email is down below. My phone number is down below as well. I'd like to hear how you're doing. Next, back to the worksheet. Back to the worksheet. Okay, we're going to talk about the secret of success. Let's look at some other things that are here. Oh, yeah. Let's see, Darren Hardy, another good one. How great parents / leaders prompt greatness. How great leaders, parents prompt greatness. And the example he used was Mickey Mantle, one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He played at a time I would be thinking Dwayne would be at this age too. Do you like Mickey Mantle? You was Mickey Mantle or Roger Maris? Who do you prefer? Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio was done by the time I was interested in baseball, but still very much in the hearts and minds of people, and he did play on the same team as Mickey Mantle. But the example used by Darren Hardy was the story of Mickey Mantle and how his dad pulled him out of it. You might say tough love. You might say just keeping it real, man, keeping it real. Just here to keep it real. Well, today is also, good morning, Matticus von Atticus, the Undersergeant Extraordinaire down in Prescott, Arizona. So we've got kind of an interesting little thing today. We've got Dwayne in Oakland, Watabevy in Jacksonville, and Matticus von Atticus in Prescott. So Matt, I'll chat with you later today. I'll try to. And the purpose is don't rush into changing all of your documentation. You don't have to. You're not required by law. Just because you move to a place, it doesn't mean you need to change residency. Just think about people who go away to college. You don't have to change all of your residency stuff the first week, the second week, the fourth month you get there, etc. So don't rush into it. Don't do things that are going to make it even more complicated. If something happens and they decide they're going to tar and feather you and run you out of town on a rail. And then you're back here and you're back to now having to change all of the stuff just because you didn't do, you were overly rash. Okay? And and I am in Pahrump, Kentucky. You choose. Is it Pahrump or Pahrump, Kentucky? You choose. Okay, so today we have the volunteers breakfast at the Methodist Church at 8 o'clock, which means this is going to be a short one. So we're going to start talking about what is the secret to success, the actual secret to success, based upon neuroscientists, somebody who will be one of the great neuroscientists of all time, at least in terms of changing people's lives, bringing it down to a level like the level we have of neuroscience that helps people move forward on a daily basis, as opposed to advancing science, advancing the study of the brain. So Matt says he's not a Undersergeant, he is a Field Marshal. Interesting. Okay, let's get to it. Secret of success. But first, Seth Godin. What is Seth talking about today? Misunderstanding bigness. IBM spent a fortune fighting calls for them to be broken up. So did AT&T and Microsoft. In all three cases, there's plenty of evidence that they would have been better off if they had simply broken themselves up. Microsoft is still recovering, and IBM never will. One computer company, one phone company, one software company, one search engine, it doesn't last. If these companies had intentionally divided up, customers would benefit. So would shareholders and most of the leadership of each organization. perhaps a few dozen people had a lot at stake in maintaining a mythical sort of scale, and they wasted time and money trying to maintain it. The company is more than just the few people who run it, and the benefits the organization creates extend beyond the people in the C-suite. In the short run, enforced dominance can offer rewards, both financial and related to ego, mostly to senior management. But the short run is fairly short, and the resilience, productivity, and utility that comes from agility in serving customers and employees more effectively is worth the transition. The very thing that enables these companies to succeed disappears once they seek to obtain bigness at any cost. MBAs take over, and the focus that led to success disappears. Buying a big publishing company like Simon & Schuster wasn't the smart way for a giant publishing company like Penguin to succeed. They'd be better off dividing into agile silos that can focus on the work that needs to be done. Google's a monopoly and has been for years. As a result, they've made decisions that weren't informed by what was best for their users or team members, and they've missed countless opportunities to create value, simply because they were prioritizing something else. The same is true for the local business that has enough scale to act like a bully, a restaurant, a real estate broker, a distributor that tries to corner the market, ends up spending time cornering, not serving the market. Aha! Adversarial interoperability creates productivity and value. Adversarial interoperability, that's an interesting term, creates productivity and value. And having a smaller part of a more vibrant market is far better than dominating a moribund one. A lot of highfalutin words in there, but that's okay. Because now we're going to get on to what is the secret of success from a neuroscience point of view. And 75 up to perhaps 75% of our day, each of our day, is spent doing this. Period. The secret is how to use it, how to fine-tune that thing that's 75% of our day is caught up in this. So the key is, how do you fine-tune that to become successful? I remember something that I didn't talk about in the introduction. What are we trying to do here? We're trying to help you have a successful life. That is to prepare for what comes next. Thank you, Dwayne. That note will go down. We'll get it memorialized. I wonder if Dwayne signed that. It's one of the people that signed that certificate. I'll have to look at that. I'm not sure whether Dwayne was in class when that thing was signed, but I kind of think I remember seeing his signature on there. Hold on. Well, it's kind of dark, so I can't really tell. But how do we do what we do? Well, two things. One is the worksheet down below, the day-to-day thing that we do that has the experts on it talking about it, how to be successful in this life in 4 areas: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Weekends are spent on the spiritual thing, which we call G School. That's the number one thing. The second thing is the podcast, daily podcast. And it is the routine of doing it every day, coming back every day. And that is called habit. So having the habit of coming here every day and having an attitude in life of I'm going to replace habits with better habits. And it turns out the secret of success is habits. 75% of our life is habits. 75% of what we do every day is a habit. Think about it. Every morning when you wake up, first thing you do, you probably do the same thing every morning. And then you go on to the next one, brushing your teeth, next one, all through the day. So the simple way to have success is to have better habits, have an orientation towards life that I'm going to improve my habits. And so Atticus von Atticus is getting to that point where he's here every day, like clockwork. And then you want to do the same thing. And my hunch would be if you think about firing a rifle accurately, there's certain habits that you need to have, including your breathing, how you pull the trigger, so you're not having to think about it. In golf, they talk about it as being kind of like a robot or a machine, right? You're not thinking about hitting the ball. You're just walking up and having the thing that you've done a million times, 1,000 times, swinging the club head. You're not thinking about it. You're not over-analyzing it, overthinking it. Habits are the key. So as we say virtually every day, the goal is to replace habits with better habits. So if our life is 75% habits, all we need to do is try to make them a little bit better every day, just a little bit better. And so one way to do that is just to have an attitude of, like, if you're a pizza maker, well, this pizza, instead of just robot making pizzas, I'm making pizzas, is to have an attitude of, this is going to be the best pizza I've ever made. And then the next one, now this one's going to be a little bit better. And then you start breaking it down. And it's like, where do I want to, how far from the edge do I want to put that pepperoni? How far do I want to put the piece of pepperoni from any other piece of pepperoni? I don't want it too close, because then the oil from this pepperoni and the oil from this slice of pepperoni are going to melt, and I'm going to get a hot spot of pepperoni juice. So I want to have them equally spaced, but maybe not so equally spaced, because maybe I don't want an equal distribution of pepperoni oil on my pizza. I want little islands of savory pepperoni flavor. So you can see how deep you could go into creating a better habit. So the habit there is two things. Making the pepperoni pizza is one habit. And the next habit is always trying to make the better pepperoni pizza. And over time, you just blow everybody away. So you get into the pizza business, you're making pizzas. You have the habit of making pepperoni pizzas, but you have the habit of making the best pepperoni pizza. That compared to the mediocre guy who says, I'm just supposed to put 18 slices of pepperoni on this pizza. I'm just throwing them here because I just want to be fast, because I really want to be imagining things in my brain. You know, I want to live in the fantasy world of my brain. And this guy comes out with lousy pizzas. This guy becomes successful doing some other business because he had the habit of trying to improve his habits at all times. All right, with that, we're going to say and cut, because I have my habit of Zipilatone. And then I got to get to Walmart, and then I got to do this, and I have the habit of Starbucks. Damn, I need to break that habit. Okay, so with that, thank you everyone for being here. Dwayne says, stay positive and focus on life. Yes, Dwayne has had a, Dwayne is once again adding value to our experience here. And Dwayne says, a woman is laughing. My woman is laughing. She used to make pizza at round table, and that's what she used to do. Which one? Just throw them out there. I'm going to make these pizza. Or like, where is the perfect placement of every piece of pepperoni? Perfect placement. Every particular piece of pepperoni. Say that 15 times fast. Okay. So thank you all for being there. Remember, this is not all there is. It's not just about the suffering. Science shows us it looks like we have a transcendent soul. There's evidence of that through REDS, real experiences after death. And so it's likely that the way we are in this life is going to have an impact on what happens next. So yeah, life is suffering, but how you deal with that best prepares you. And eternity is a long, long time. If you had to have 100 years of painful suffering, but you knew at the end you were going to have everlasting bliss, that painful suffering is like that in terms of eternity. So we can do it. And I'm going to say, and cut. Auf Wiedersehen, people. Hasta la vista. Until tomorrow.